evening and welcome to Active Citizens Parliament. My name is Sharon Enemchuku. Joining me live in the studio, I have with me my co-host and person of Miss Ifoma Oji. Good evening, and how are you doing?
Sharon, I'm doing great.
Welcome to the show. I'm very well. Thank you. All right, we're going straight to the stories we have for today. Nigeria is safer now than 10 years ago, and the economy is better. Wait, those are not my words. Those are coming from Seyi Law. We're having a look at that video. When we come back, we'll have more conversations. Let's take a look.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I support Obi. Peter Obi is by far a better leader.
Seyi Law.
Yes.
Would you say Nigeria is safer now than 10 years ago?
That's a very good question. Nigeria is safer now than 10 years ago, that is true. Never. This government has bandit than any of the since Jonathan.
Nigeria today is more unsafe than it had ever been.
When last have you heard of bomb blast in Nigeria?
Like last week. Vehicle-based improvised explosive device ran into the Nigerian forces fighting in the northeast. As I'm talking to you now, if I open my phone now, you will see the number of people whose relatives have been kidnapped. It is under this administration that Nigerians are depending on individuals to confront kidnappers when we have security agents.
It's not today that they'll be kidnapping people in their house.
It's under this administration that a brigadier general, a brig gen, not a brigadier general was more cold. His handset taking, all classified security information falling into the hands of terrorists. It is in this administration that terrorists are showing us their face clear. In the era of Boko Haram, they go wrap their face like no go know what they talk, they speak their language.
On what metric are you judging Peter Obi as a better leader than Tinubu?
Every one naira that Peter Obi has made in his life can be explained.
You said Peter Obi's money can be traced.
Every single kobo.
No.
I know. Go ahead.
So are you saying that Peter Obi's money cannot be traced, Seyi?
Please, Daddy Freeze, I want you to read this. It was Peter Obi.
What?
Nigeria economically is better. And I will explain.
Dan Tinubu met it.
Debate and conversation, and this happened on a podcast. It has got a lot of people talking. What's your take?
You see how we both reacted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, first of all, I think I'll have to commend on Honest Bond for releasing such or having such conversation, because it's usually about relationship and the rest, but it's good to have them talk about Nigeria as a whole, the politics and the rest. I mean, those are the topics I would love to see on social media every now and then. Then talking about Seyi Law saying that Nigeria is more safer now than 10 years ago. Please, can you kindly take Nigerians back to 10 years ago? Because me, I'll gladly move back to 10 years ago that I know that there was no technology at all, or there was technology, but it's not as advanced as it is right now. Because if we see what it is, how advanced technology is and how our leaders are taking us 20 steps backwards, I would love to go back to those times to say, okay, there is no technology, at least I'm living in what's it called, an underdeveloped country. But you cannot have a developed country whereby you have inflation, you have insecurity here and there. So many stories we took on this particular table last year about attacks, about Lakolara group, about banditry, Boko Haram, the insurgencies, the different attacks, the kidnappings. It's as if there was a month we were having this discussion back to back. Every morning we are talking about the attack here in Kebbi, we are talking about in Kwara State, we are talking about in Plateau, we are talking about in Kaduna, we are talking about in Katsina. Like, it's as if it was now a daily meal that we have to consume, and it was really tiring and terrorizing at that point in time. And that's how someone will come out and tell me that Nigeria was much more safer, is much more safer now than in 10 years ago. Is really undermining the pains that a lot of people have went through, a lot of people that have lost their lives on this whole terrorism attacks, the people in the northeast on that downplaying their pains. And I think this guy should cover his face in shame. But I love the fact that there was another counter attack by a different person. I don't know his name. He was providing, you know, more details. You talk about attack, he'll tell you this place was attacked so day and so time. You know, I
like that we're talking about this and we're talking about security, because I want us to tie it to the other story where we're seeing that bandits who kidnapped Kebbi State residents have come out to demand for 100 million naira ransom or face the consequences. They've threatened that if you don't pay the 100 million naira, that there will be consequences for that. And this Kebbi attack just happened very recently, and we're talking about security, right? And Seyi Law mentioned that Nigeria has been the safest it has ever been. Now, when you calculate the number of people who have lost their lives in the entire 10 years, it's running into thousands. When there's a report I read, yes, the one I read, within, I think it was 50,000 people dead from, was it 2015 till now, right? So that's within the span of almost, 10 years. So that's what I'm saying. The numbers are, they're it doesn't even look real. It doesn't look like this is what is happening, but it is happening. It's not fiction. It is not, we're not shooting any movie here. This is real life. Real people are dying. Real people are losing their loved ones. People are being kidnapped every single day. It is now a wide known fact that even the United States have to call us and term us a now disgraced nation, now making Nigeria a country of particular concern. 10 years ago, Nigeria was not a country of particular concern.
Thank you.
So the facts are actually there. The data is outside in the public. And also, right, talking about the Kebbi State attack, the most recent one, let's talk about that for a bit, right? How it's already, I can't count how many attacks in 2026 alone.
Okay, I think on the 31st of December 2025, I was trying to encourage Nigerians, and I was wishing them a tremendous new year free from, all this terrorist attack and all this insecurity in Nigeria, because I was hoping on the zero tolerance to terrorism that the president promised us. Let's just, maybe a way of ushering Nigerians into a new hope and into a new year. And it wasn't even up to how many days we heard about attacks from here and there. And then talking about this Lakrawa attack, you see, let me take us back to 10 years ago. 10 years ago, we didn't have audacious terrorists. We had terrorists that were operating maybe some sort of fear because we had the military regime then, or we had security agencies that were ready to apprehend them then. You get, but the terrorists that we have now are bold enough to go live on TikTok, go live, stream on social media, and post to Nigerians and tell Nigerians you cannot do anything about it. A terrorist that will burn a girl alive and show you the matchbox they use and lighten her up and tell you that you cannot do anything about it. A terrorist that will tell a community to pay a certain amount, 100 million naira, or else they will attack. And we have about how many thousand security agencies in Nigeria that are always frolicking around VIPs. And you tell me that Nigeria is better than 10 years ago. Please take me back to 10 years ago. Take me back to 10 years ago when these terrorists still have at least human conscience and little fear in them, because that fear and conscience is no more. And take me back to 10 years ago when there was no talk about was a non-kinetic approach to tackling insecurity in Nigeria, to negotiating with bandits. Take me to 10 years ago when Nigerian governments don't have to pay police talk with these terrorists. Take me back to those 10 years ago when we don't have all these criminalities running around in Nigeria, flying around in Nigeria that like it is right now. It's really quite sad to these communities. My heart goes out to a lot of people because of recent, it was attacked and about 30 people were killed during the attack, and a lot of people were kidnapped. A lot of people are still in custody. Even in Kwara State, about 172 people were killed. Some of them were kidnapped, and they kind of made a video and posted it on social media. These are the same terrorists that were making video and posting on social media. Somebody is telling me that Nigeria is more safer now than 10 years ago. My heart goes out to the community, but I think it is high time that the security agencies, the police, the military actually act swiftly as possible to ensure that this community is safe, because we can't have this community, you know, having recent consistent attacks.
My question now is, with Seyi Law coming out to say this, it also begs the question of the rising trend of influencer campaigns for the presidency. Especially, we are seeing more and more influencers. The other day we saw Kubana. We saw Kubana Chief Priest Imoni and the likes, who have come out to, even I've forgotten his name, Nina or Nini, who has come out to publicly say, okay, they're under the City Boys movement, which in one word is just campaigning for the presidency. Let's talk about that influence, because Seyi Law is a public figure, and he has come out to say, oh, he's pleased with, and nobody is coercing you to have a certain view different from what the people want, or to not have your own standpoint. Nobody is stopping you from doing that. But I want to touch a little, because we have more stories to touch on. I want to touch a little on this influence, right? Because I saw a comment, someone said something. He said, okay, I have been in Nigeria for years. I know how hard and difficult things are in Nigeria. I have been under this administration. And because Obi Kubana got an appointment and he comes to tell me, oh, vote for this person, vote for my candidate, I would just go up and stand up and go and vote. Do you think that influencers right now, with how things are, can still influence people's votes?
Okay, influencers do have, you know, followings, people that are diehard fans, that can literally go to the ends of the earth just to support them. So I say yes, some of them still have, but I would still say that in as much as you have someone that you look up to, maybe as an icon or whatever you deem it fit, it shouldn't cloud your sense of judgment. You shouldn't deter you from seeing a lot that is going on in Nigeria, seeing the insecurity, a lot of people dying. So if your said icon come out to campaign concerning or about a certain president, what's it called, a candidate, for people to vote the candidate, just sit back or step back and watch exactly what is going on in Nigeria and decide. The choice is yours to make, if you're supporting that candidate or not.
I like what you said. Yeah, it's not for you to decide. You would base off your whole or your entire conclusion because one person told you to do it, or one person said not to do it. And another thing again that I also want us to touch on is this issue of police withdrawal from VIPs, right? We remember when the president gave an order that 100,000 police officers be withdrawn from VIPs and be sent to these hot areas where there is violence and there are crimes going on daily. The resistance, when you even look at the House, the Senate, right, when they were talking about, there were lots of resistance. People saying, oh, I'm a VIP, I can't move around, it's not safe, it's not that. If we really are safe, I wish someone could have asked Seyi Law, why was there that resistance to that particular order that even up till date, we've not seen the 100,000 police officers that were withdrawn from the VIPs? Because when you go out now, you still see police escorts with these big men, with these rich people. So if we're really safe, I don't think people would be scared to drive around without security, without protection.
Let us even drive it home to Seyi Law himself. He cannot go to the north or the east without security. Because just like you said, he is an influencer, he is a notable figure, a figure in the society, and such a person will not be moving without escorts.
True.
So let's drive it to him. Can he visit the east? Can he visit the north without security backing backing him as his protection.
It would be nice to see that. It would be really nice for Seyi Law to put his money where his mouth is and actually do that. But we'll have to
test it.
Yes, test the water. We have to move international now. This has been an entire chaos. I've been seeing the stories and reports since morning. Well, but we are seeing now that the Mexican president has come out to call for calm as cartel violence erupts after leader El Mencho's death. We're going to have a look at some of the videos and then we'll come back to the studio. Let's have a look.
Vente, man. Corre, 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 corre. No mames. ¿Están bien?
Gente corriendo.
Cuidado, no se crucen, con cuidado. Cuidado, cuidado, no se crucen.
¡Vámonos! ¡Vámonos!
A ver si muy verga te topas con nosotros. Ahí tengo desamarrados los perros, culero. Y así voy a andar patrullando. Pues tu puta madre.
¡Órale, vente, hijo de puta madre! ¡Bríncale a la verga! ¡Bríncale al toro, perro!
Hijo de tu puta madre. Vas a pegar toda la verga, culero.
Gente inocente, sí, eres bien verga.
Saw those videos and they have been circulating all over social media since today. It is how we have gotten to this point. It's so unfortunate for the people of for the Mexicans and for Mexico and their government, that even with President Trump coming out to say one time that they're being run by their cartels, and when he said that, there was a lot of uproar, people saying no to that, people disagreeing with that. But I think with this video and with what has gone on, because it's not just a video, this is what is actually going on in Mexico now with the death of El Mencho, who has been literally terrorizing the lives of people there and doing and undoing things because he's a drug lord, obviously, and just the type of power that they've been able to have unquestioned for so long, for so many years. And right now it's as though that power is fighting back. They have allowed a monster to grow so big that they can't control it.
Okay, I'm not even, should I say, offer my condolence.
It's not bad to offer.
Yeah, well, condolences to the family, but you can't talk about extortion. You can't talk about human trafficking. You can't talk about drug trafficking. And Mexico is not in the sentence, or is not in that particular conversation. Even like you said, in the movies, they show us that these people are drug cartels. So their leader, Mencho, he said, or was the former leader of Jalisco New Generation cartel, and he has been the leader for over a decade now. So having them lose their leader, I mean, you can see how it's causing uproar, in the country. But it goes a long way to show you how, just like what you said, they've allowed this devil to grow so rapidly and so big that they can't even curtail it. They are now putting the country under siege, putting the country under total lockdown. People are no longer safe to walk around. People are no longer safe to travel because, according to them, they barricaded everywhere. There's a lot of violence going on in the country, and it still boils down to strengthening of institutions. You can't have people that are into all these illegal malpractices come and put the country under lockdown. Institutions should find a way to draw a line between law and order. There should be law and order, not just in Mexico but in so many countries. So it's about strengthening a lot of institutions.
I like that you said that. It shouldn't just be in Mexico, right? It should be in other countries. And talking about how they have gotten to this point where they have endangered the lives of innocent civilians and innocent citizens, it is really, really heartbreaking to see. But also, it's something that a lot of governments can learn from, a lot of countries can learn from. How when crime goes unwashed and unpunished, it can become so much bigger than you think you can handle. And for every time I look at or I read up news, global news, international news, I always find a way to link it back to home, link it back to Nigeria. What can we learn from this? Does this in any way have anything to do with the Nigerian experience and just what we have gone through with security and crime and violence? And to be honest, I think this one does in a way, because even though Nigeria is not known for its cartels, drug cartels and all of that, no, we're known for crimes. Barons. Do you get? We're known for other crimes. We're known for banditry, kidnapping, and the rest.
So you're saying we are known.
It is unfortunate, right? We have gotten to that part. It's more or less like a Mexican coming, hearing you say, oh, they are known for pushing drugs, and they're always in that conversation. It's just the same thing, but it is the reality right now, and it is because where I'm getting to is the fact that if you let it go unchecked, if you let it go unwashed for so long, we might get to this point where kidnapping is now going to be a huge industry that people will be pumping money into because it's overlooked. It goes, the type of attention it gets, it's not as much as what protesters get. Right? There's more energy focused towards protesters than there is towards terrorists, unfortunately, and it is sad to see, but that is what we are seeing. That is the reality of things now until things change. When you mentioned something about non-kinetic approach, you cannot tell me that, factually speaking, if we continue on the path of kinetic approach for the next 10 years, we won't have something even worse than this. It is undeniable. It is not something that I'm wishing on us, God forbid, but it is what it is. Now
I just wanted to add something. We're not even really going to have a more robust drug cartel in Nigeria, but what we are going to have is established insecurity.
That's what I'm saying. We don't have
banditry.
It's with drug. It's with terrorism.
Yes, and it's with us
and robbery
than them.
Yeah, to be honest, if you don't, it's not everybody. We can't all have the exact same story, but it is similar in a way. What is very popular over here is kidnappings and ransom. We just talked about the Kebbi attack and them demanding 100 million before ransom. I'm not saying that I know lots of people that have been ransomed, but the few, right, that I've heard about that have been kidnapped, the ransom amount at 100 million is just, it's crazy. I'm just hearing about this since last year. I'm saying 100 for very poor communities. That's the funny thing. And do you know how much, let me just even tell us how much the kidnapping industry in Nigeria has changed. Before, they used to target very wealthy people. Do you remember?
Yeah.
They used to target wealthy people. If you are wealthy, that's their target. But now, even commoners, normal people, normal civilians, people that are just middle class or even poor, they would kidnap them on the road, because on the road you don't even know who is wealthy, who is not wealthy. They're in a bus, you don't know who is who. They'll just carry everybody and demand for 100 million for everybody. It's showing now that I'm even talking about in decades to come. Already we have gotten to that point where it is no longer reasonable.
It's quite bizarre. Last year there was this story that we took. I don't know if you joined in the conversation, where a certain community said that they paid up to, is it 30 to 50 million to this terrorist, and just few days after they paid such amount of money, because they weren't able to raise up to the amount, they came and they attacked the community, killing a lot of people.
They even mentioned that they informed them beforehand.
Yes, they informed them beforehand. And even the informants, people that gave intelligence on what was happening, I think the leader of the community kind of reported to the police, and that was how the leader of the terrorist organization got angry and now attacked the community overnight.
It's the audacity.
So it's the audacity.
Anyways, because of time, I would like us to continue this conversation, but in the comment section. But we move now to a lighter news, right? We're hearing that from Dangote himself, that Nigerians will be able to buy into refinery in 5 months with dollar payout, right? So we're going to have a look at that video coming from Dangote himself. Let's have a look.
The sky is the limit, and we will cooperate and also make sure that we work together to make sure that we make Nigerians proud. The other issue is that, look, they are holding 7.25% of the shares that we have here, which is more than the shares Elon Musk has in Tesla. So, and they are holding that on behalf of Nigerians. So, but individually, Nigerians too will have an opportunity in the next, I don't know, but I think in the next maybe maximum 4 or 5 months, they will actually be option to buy their shares. And like what I promised before, people will have a choice either to get their dividend in Naira or to get their dividends in dollars, because we earn dollars.
And besides the expansion plan, is there any other significant collaboration between the NFPC and Dangote Refinery?
Yeah, definitely. That's what we are looking at. We have a block 71, 72, but we're going to look much, deeper. Most likely, depending on our own discussions with them, we will partner.
Just saw that video, and a lot of Nigerians are excited to hear that they can now buy into Dangote's refinery shares and all. But let me get your take, Ifoma.
Okay, there was one story we took last year about the saga going on between the midstream and the downstream.
Yes.
I think refineries or something like that, and where this Dangote was in the mix of everything, where he was saying he will expose this, he will expose that, and the man coming out then to say that that he has a problem with Dangote, which is he's trying to monopolize the business, the fuel business, the oil business. I think, I don't know if
I remember that.
If my memory serves me right, but there was something, or there's something I could just drive home concerning this Dangote. This somebody that didn't travel to US or travel outside country to invest in their maybe agriculture or maybe their own production, but he came to Nigeria and he invested in Nigeria, and he wanted Nigerians to eat the fruits of his labor. And that is what we are seeing now, that even an ordinary Nigerian can actually buy shares. And it's really, really beautiful to see that we still have well-meaning Nigerians that can still cultivate into, you know, the production and development of Nigerians. It's really, you know, a very big story, a very big news. And just like you said, Nigerians are excited, and I'm excited that it's not only investors that can now buy shares, that even ordinary Nigerians can actually partake in.
I like that,
such.
Right? Anything that would point us towards economic development and poverty elevation, I'm always happy to see things like that. So I think a lot of we're just waiting until that portal is open for Nigerians to be able to buy into Dangote and see how that goes, right? You just want to wait back and see and observe. Personally, I don't want to clap too loudly. Let's just wait till then. But it is a great and a welcome development. So yeah, big one from Dangote Refineries. But we have to call it a wrap on the conversation today. Thank you so much for joining us on the conversation, and of course to my co-host Miss Ifomoji for doing this with us, and to you, our viewers. If you're watching for the first time, this is Active Citizens Parliament. Do follow us across all media as Active Citizens. So we see you tomorrow. Do have a pleasant evening.